Hey guys, welcome back to Odrix Sports. Colton Hall here with
Ben McCann.
So this morning we're going to go over here the football scores from week 1 for the state of South Dakota. There's quite a bit going on. Obviously, we'll get to our Spearfish Spartans, but we just wanted to run through all the different scores and everything.
Week 2 for some of these
Yes,
teams.
week 2. Yeah, it's crazy. We're already a couple weeks into football season. It's like the best time of year is just floating away. Mm-hmm. It's just really unfortunate. But let's jump right into it. Overall, we'll start with a couple of games here in AAA, or we'll start with a AAA game here in Brandon Valley and the Washington Warriors, Sioux Falls, that is. So Brandon Valley took care of business here, 28-7.
I wish that score was a little bit different. Was Brandon Valley being ranked second even in this week's poll? I feel like they should have probably won by a little bit more with that Washington team, but completely understand. You can never like downgrade a 21-point win. So I mean, with those AAA teams, I feel like that should have been a little bit more dominant because there's definitely a bigger gap of talent there.
Yeah. Well, and I think, too, a part of it, too, is and I don't know if this is week 1 or week 2 for Brandon Valley off the top of my head, but I will say that early in the season, you're still kind of learning who you are as a team. You're learning. I mean, we're seeing that with the Rams even. You know, you're still kind of learning who you are as a team, seeing where players fit, seeing what play calls you want to run in certain types of situations. And so, yeah, I think that ultimately you would like to see a little bit more of a dominant performance there. But I mean, it's still a 21-point win. You can't take anything away from that. And you did lose a couple of big time seniors like Delaney that did go to SDSU and everything. But overall, a win is a win. As a win is the saying. After that, so you had Warner beating the Gettysburg Battlers. Shout out to Colton Hall there up in Gettysburg. I apologize, man, that sucks because Warner's always good. You remember the Tusker brothers that came from there, played at NDSU, played for the Broncos a little bit there. So, I mean, Warner's always going to be good.
Gettysburg has its years, but definitely more up and down than Warner. Warner's pretty consistent about being good.
Yes, those farm kids definitely get it done up there.
And I'd like to say one thing before we get into another game. The Rapid City Central High School website is absolute garbage.
Really, I haven't checked.
I've been trying to look at the play, and it's so bad. So, But anyway, let's keep going on the scores.
Okay. So, next was sorry, I just had an ad that popped up. Mobridge Pollock taking down Groton. This one's shocked me a little bit because Groton typically is. I mean, they're pretty competitive in most of their games, but Mobridge Pollock, I think this is more of an indication of how good they are. 29-6 over the Tigers there. I think that is, like I said, like Mobridge Pollock, they've got some athletes, and they have had some athletes there for a little while now. After that was Alcester Hudson and Centerville. Alcester Hudson taking the win 26-21 there. Avon. This was a game where, I think when we talked about our early previews of teams, or I think even just in passing, we're like, Avon's probably going to be it.
Yeah, that was my pick. I mean, their speed there. 9-man football speed kills. Yes. Avon has it. Good athletic group of kids there. I don't see a lot of teams being able to play with Avon, besides maybe is it Elkton?
Elkton, yeah. Elkton Benton or something like that, I think it was. The co-ops are, I'm trying to keep up with the co-ops, so please do have some patience with me there. But yeah, Avon absolutely just taking care of business against Sioux Falls Lutheran, 62-20. You had Lennox over Vermilion. Lennox, I mean, just absolutely stacked. They're stacked year after year. They beat Vermilion 35-18.
And that was dominant. Like that was, I watched the highlights, like that Lennox was ahead of that game and just ran that whole game. Like there was no like, Vermilion can maybe get back in. No, Lennox, that was impressive. It was very, very impressive.
Howard Esteline Hendricks. So Howard taking it here 58-8. I mean, Howard, like we said, is typically they're pretty dominant. They're
a good team.
They're a really good team. They're East River. Cologne representing. Good to have my Cologne Cowboys coming out with a win 52-0 over the Platte Geddes Black Panthers. Platte Geddes, that's a little shocking to me though, because Platte Geddes back in the day, I think they won a state title and they've been pretty good. I think there's just it's first game of the year. You're really just kind of seeing what you have too.
They've always been good. They've never been great. And I'm sure I'm gonna get flack for that.
Hey, honestly, and that's the thing is like we're gonna be real on this channel.
Try to. Anyway.
Try to be. And also be fair. There's got to be a difference there because we're not we're homers, but at the same time we realize that we need to be fair and to be accurate. That's just how it has to be.
We're spearfish homers.
Spearfish homers. So then Sioux Valley taking care of Clark Willow Lake 22-8. I honestly thought this would be a little bit more of a run show, but Clark Willow Lake hanging in there, like we said, really only a 2-possession game when it came down to it. So the Cyclones sticking with I think it's the Cossacks.
Yeah.
Okay. So Canastota, Coleman Egan. This was a good game. 20-12 was the final score there. I do envision Canastota being pretty competitive. I do also think that games like this, though, again, you want to see a little bit more of that wider margin. Wall taking down Harding County. This was a battle of the ranchers, like literally 73-20.
It wasn't much of a battle.
I mean, that's true. I think that Wall has just been so good for so long. I mean, you talk about. I mean, we talked about it the other day. The youth program does a fantastic job of just getting these kids ready for football, the basics, and then they just build on that once they get into middle and high school. So
you can honestly tell by watching where the youth program's kind of taken over. T's seen huge strides. Wall has seen huge strides. Spearfish has seen huge strides. Even Lee Deadwood have seen and Sturgis is another team that have seen it. These teams that weren't necessarily great football teams, this youth program is starting to creep in, and it's being ran very, very well.
Yep.
So it's off to Wall.
It is, and I think that ultimately you're just going to see a continuation of dominance in that football class. They may not win state titles every year, but I mean they're going to be competitive.
They're going to be tough. I mean, we got kids that are tackling when they're first, second graders. Instead of when I was in high school, we didn't even play tackle football until 7th grade, till your middle school.
So the Rapid City Central Cobblers taking down the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders 23-7. We'll talk about the Cobblers here in a second. I know as we get talk about Spearfish, but I mean this was a win where I think it meant a lot to the program. It's going to be. I think it's going to be really telling.
This is a program that has been very up and coming. Like they've always been just there, but never been able to crest.
Yep.
And I think you're starting to see them get over that hump, and it's going to be fun to watch because there's a natural rivalry with Spear. Obviously, it's not Sturgis is Spearfish's biggest rival, but and we'll look at that at rivalry week.
Yep.
But Rapid City Central has always played Spearfish very well. And it's one of those games that you're going to go into, and it's going to be tough to win either side. So, doesn't matter if one team's super talented and the other team isn't. It's still going to be just an absolute knockdown drag out. We saw that last year where Spearfish was the more talented team, but Rapid City took it to them.
They did. And I mean, it took some late game heroics from Hunter Walters to get it done. But overall, this is a good team. And, we even talked about it with Coach Teason in the offseason, just kind of talking about, hey, who's a team that you actually envision being a problem and nobody's talking about? And he mentioned Rapid City Central. So shout out Coach Teason. Mitchell and Douglas. Mitchell taking care of Douglas 57-0 here. I think that
this is a good thing for Mitchell.
It's a good thing for Mitchell, and for Douglas,
it shows how bad Douglas is.
But at the same time, I do think it's tough when you get those kids, on the base, and I think a lot of people talk about that to a degree. But at the same time, it's you do wonder. Because back in the day when I was in high school, Douglas was very, very competitive. I think they even went to a couple of semifinals against Pierre, with guys like Jacob Max and Clayton Innes and all those guys.
They had athletic kids that stayed anymore. The base. The turnover is 2 years now. Before, back, I felt like there was more. You watch these kids for 4 years, and now you're starting to. So they're how do you commit?
How do you build a program?
But thank you guys for everything you do in the
absolutely
Army, Air
shout
Force, all that stuff. So
absolutely shout out to our
life,
veterans.
But
yes,
thank you.
Sorry. So Sioux Falls O'Gorman Knights and the Harrisburg Tigers. Taking them down 25-24. You used to coach for Harrisburg. Doesn't that hurt for you?
No, not at all. O'Gorman was my pick. So
okay.
That is a true that's going to be another game in the playoffs, I bet. So you will see that again, and I do think that those scores will be flip-flopped.
Yankton Huron 41-24. We have talked about Huron. They have size on the outside. They've got good receivers. I think that they got 6-8 receivers. If you can just throw it up to them, I think it'll take care of itself.
The thing is that Yankton team has a really good defense.
Yep.
And to be able to put up that many points, the loss sucks, but to be able to put that many points up on Yankton, hats off to you. I mean, you got to pat yourself on the back a little bit.
Yeah.
But Huron was another one of those teams that kind of people overlooked that I think could potentially go on a run if everything gels a little bit. Huron could do some damage and knock a couple people out of the playoffs. Do I think they're going to win a state title? Absolutely not. But they could play underdog, and if they squeak into the playoffs, I wouldn't want to see them first round. That's all I know.
Yes. No, and I think that like we said, it's a really continuation of being early, still early in the season and everything, but I think it's going to be something overall that you're going to want to keep an eye on. Sioux Falls Christian shutting out West Central. 24-0 was the final score there, and I mean, Sioux Falls Christian always tough. West Central, I mean, they have a history of just being dominant as well, so it's interesting.
But if you watch that game, West Central moved the ball and then they'd stall.
Yeah.
I think West Central will get it all together, and they even got votes this week. So even that loss, I think people saw the game and they're like, they were there, but they just kind of stalled out. So let that offense get a couple more, a week, maybe 2 more weeks, and I think you're going to start to see West Central do some things. So.
Yep. Sioux Falls Jefferson beating Watertown 51-7. Really not a lot you can say there. I mean, just talking about how dominant Jefferson was, it's just kind of how it is.
I think they're 2.
I believe so too. Yeah,
they're 2. So, yeah, Jefferson's a really good team. Obviously, they have athletes. Watertown defending state champs. So that is definitely a statement win, even though Jefferson's AAA and Watertown's double. But good job, Watertown, for taking that game. So
yes, absolutely. And then also we touched on we haven't touched on it yet, the tea and spearfish game. So, also a couple of other games here. You had Pure TF Rigs taking down Aberdeen Central 9-6. I'll say this: we made the mistake last year of trying to say though Pure, Pier's. We'll see how it is.
That down here, yeah.
Devin, yeah, no more.
Nope.
We're not making that mistake again because they went all the way to the state title game last year, so we're just gonna leave it there.
Coach Steele will have these guys ready. I mean, they're ready now, but yes. Coach Steele, if we start the playoffs, Coach Steele would have them ready. Coach Slice too, same thing.
Yes,
they're very good. They're very well coached over in Pierre, and I'm pretty sure you could give them any amount, like any 11 kids, and they will produce a playoff team. So,
yep.
Hats off to Pierre, and good job Aberdeen, because that was a game I thought was going to get out of hand, but they kept it close, and they did what they had to do to stay in it. So
yep. Winnebago and Cheyenne Eagle Butte Tiosh Patopa. Winnebago taking care of business there, 55-0. Sunshine Bible Academy going and playing Oldham Ramona Rutland, 46-8 there. SBA still sticking around. You've also got St. Thomas More. This one kind of shocked me a little bit. Taking down Mount Vernon and Plankington. That's now 2 East River schools they've taken down in a row. St. Thomas More.
But not great East River schools.
I mean,
let them get to that.
I thought first, and I could be wrong here. I thought St. Thomas More beat. Didn't they beat Sioux Falls Christian, this number 2 ranked team?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure here. So they beat. Let's see here. We'll go back here. I apologize, you guys. So. Oh, great. That's an old Spearfish score. So, yeah, they beat Sioux Valley, who was highly ranked to start out the season, and it was 28-14. So, and I know there's a lot that goes on, especially as you kind of get started with the season and everything, but Sioux Valley, they are not anything to shake a head at. They are, I think they're a pretty good, I wouldn't say a dominant, but they're a good team. But overall, the Cavaliers taking down MVP, which, like I said, that's noteworthy.
No, but it'll be fun to watch because it always seems like they can get there, and then there's that team. Parkston used to be the team for them. There's a couple other East River teams that they'd get to. Bonham back way back 20 years ago was the team too. They just couldn't get past. Let's see if they can do it this year.
Yep. St. Mary, Irene, Wakanda, 52-0. Hamlin and Hanson, 29-23. Hamlin taking that one. Hamlin's just always tough. Miller Highmore Herald beating Hot Springs 13-10. That's a better game than a lot of you people think, because I will say this: Hot Springs was right there with Winter, the number one ranked team. Well, we'll talk about Winter too here in a second, but
The former number.
the former number one. We'll put it that way. You also had my alma mater, Custer, losing to Tri Valley 53-3. Yikes! They put the 3 up there though. I'm proud of the 3. Like, hey, we got a field goal kicker at least, maybe. Also. Madison taking down Belfouche 35-0.
Madison's got some dogs.
Madison,
I mean, pun intended.
They're the Bulldogs for a reason, yeah.
They got some kids. They always do. They have those tough kids that they're always going to be good.
Yes. Dupree beating North Central 36-28. Lincoln beating Stevens 62-14.
That's what I would like to see in a top tier AAA team.
Yeah. I think we're going to look to see that against, if you are Brandon Valley, excuse me. Hill City taking down Lemon McIntosh 43-6. You also had Sturgis Brown. This one was kind of a shock. Like, I don't want to say a shocker, but
it was a little bit of a shocker.
A little bit of Sturgis Brown taking down Brookings 26-21. I mean,
this was your pick. Brookings was your pick.
I don't remember this, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if you even put it up.
I think that overall, Brookings kind of was the favorite. I think I had him going to the state title, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking. Okay, I thought you were talking about for the game. No, yeah, I did at first, and now, I mean, at times we all have egg in our face. I mean, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. But yeah, Sturgis, I think we talked about it. That's kind of the culmination of, the youth program taking over. And you're seeing some of these kids now come up through the ranks, and it's like they got some dudes. Like they're a good
and
team.
they're well coached.
They're very well coached. Sioux Falls, Roosevelt. Oh, we touched on that one. Canton and Rapid City Christian. This one was where Canton taking them down 27-6 here. These are 2 still really good teams. Don't let the scores fool you here, but Canton just getting it done. Absolutely,
when you got a group of wrestlers like that, and you've had that program, I've always said it. If you got a dominant wrestling program, you're going to have at least a good football program. So
yep. Kadoka alignment 18-14. Kadoka, small town football. That's all that matters these days. Scotland Menno over Corsica Stickney 44-30. You also had Mulbridge Pollock. We touched on them.
Still the Highlanders?
I think.
I hope they change their colors, because their colors were god awful.
Oh, good Lord.
We're
not here to start
orange.
wars. Yankton Huron, we touched on Jefferson taking down Watertown 51-7. Let's see. Freeman Academy taking down Bonhomme, 57-7.
I'd like to point out, though, I think this is either the first year or the second year of the new coach.
Yeah.
Get it together. You've had 60 years of good, if not great, football teams. There's a lot of history there. Josh Ronick, Corton, Campbell. Like we've had a lot of good football players, and there's even more that I'm missing. Schieffer, but yeah, we got to turn that around. That's rough, man.
Happens. Wilmot Arrington 20-18 was Arlington, excuse me. And then also Flandreau taking down Baltic 20-12. Dakota Valley and Del Rapids here. So Dakota Valley taking them down 28-7. That's a little bit of a statement early in the season. You talk about a 13th and 14th ranked team. You want to see at least a little bit of a closer game, but Dakota Valley getting it done.
That's going to be a game that you see later on too. I think.
Especially in the playoffs.
Dakota Valley's always been really good.
Yes. Stanley County over Parkston 40-0.
That surprised me.
That was like, okay. I know Stanley County's good. Don't get me wrong, but Parkston at least has been very competitive in the past. So we'll see.
Not last Friday they weren't.
No, they weren't. Castlewood Chester 36-7. Winter and Wagner. So being in Winter for 9 months, I can tell you that this score would make most Warrior parents panic a little bit. But 34-20 was the final score there. But I will say this: Wagner's a good team. And this has been a rivalry for kind of a long time, and so these games mean more. I'll just say that. So yes, 34-20 was the score there, but that's going to be a dogfight later on.
I'd also like to point out that little strip of South Dakota, that southern strip, has produced. You got your Ben Liebers, your Chad Greenways, your Riley Reefs, your Josh Ronicks, your Cortons, your Duracheks for Wagner, Simples from Wagner. So, I mean, like, that little strip is absolutely just football dominant. So, anytime you have to play one of those teams, Parkston, Wagner, Bonham, obviously not Bonham this year, but you're always going to be in for a dogfight. So, that's going to be a coin toss anytime you have to play one of those teams.
Waverly South Shore taking down Florence Henry 22-18. Millbank downing Lakota Tech 64-0. Great Plains Lutheran 36-6 over Wabash Summit. Roncalli losing to Chamberlain. That one was definitely a little shocking to me. 27-0 was the final score.
Good for Chamberlain, though, because they've always been
decent.
Oh, yeah, decent, but I think they're starting to get good.
Yes.
So good for Chamberlain.
Good to see. Parker over Beersford 28-6. Solely Buttes beating Burke 62-7. Also Bennett County over New Underwood 44-6. Bennett County's got some players. They absolutely do. Harriet Selby over Northwestern Area 42-0. Britton Heckler and Loyola Frederick. I will say this, Logan Weiser and Nate Jones, I'm sorry, with this one definitely has a little bit of alma mater in there, but 36-6 was Britton Heckler over Loyola Frederick. Howard over Estline Hendricks. We were good there. Mitchell Douglas. Viborg Hurley, is playing Elkton, Lake, and Benton. Viborg Hurley in the past has been very, very competitive. So this one definitely shocked me a little bit, but I think it's more of an indication of how good ELB is.
Oh, you're buying into the co-op stuff too, huh?
You got to. ELB, yes, you got to. So then also Gregory downing Trip Delmont Armor, Andes Central, Dakota Christian, I think that is. I'm not sure. So 51-0 over for Gregory over TDAACDC.
Another good team. I mean, a lot of history there. Lot of good players come out of Gregory. So I think that program is going to be solid.
There's a tradition there. Ipswich over Falkton, 34-30. Sioux Falls Christian, 24-0 over West Central. You also had Garrettson, 35-24 over DSmet. I just found how to say that from McKinley Bickett the other day. So thank you, Mr. Bickett.
Yeah, McKinley probably says it wrong too.
DSmet.
The Smith.
Yes, it's a basketball town. We'll put it that way.
He's probably walking around going D Smith.
D Smith. He does it all the time.
D Smith are going, I wish that kid stopped calling it.
We love him, McKinley. McCook Central Montrose 42-8 over Webster. And then final one here was Wolsey Washington losing to Dubrook 42-8. Now for the Spartans. So 22-14 against T was the final score. The Titans taking it over the Spartans. I will say that the optics of looking at a game after it are always better than in the game.
It wasn't bad in the game either, because you had moments where you're like, okay, these guys might actually do it.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, you can take some positives. It's easier to take some positives away from it a couple hours after than definitely during.
Yes, it was rough in the moment, but I do think that I mean we've talked about it with PJ Fleck coming out with that coaching talk. There's three things you need to be able to win. You got to be able to tackle. In other words,
this from me.
You got to you stole it from me and you know it. You got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to have big plays, and you have to be able to tackle, have big plays. I'm forgetting the third one off the top of my head.
Turnovers.
Thank you. You actually started out with turnovers. What's that?
I stole it, right?
You did. You did. And so turnovers is obviously the number one thing. If you turn the ball over less than your opponent, obviously you're going to win that. And if you take the ball away more than your opponent, you're clearly going to win.
And Spearfish won that. I mean, 3-1 with the turnover ratio. But the explosive plays.
It was T. Like, I have to be honest. Like,
number 6 was absolutely.
They're a good team. Like, you can't take anything away from them.
They're above average team.
Yes, they're a good team. I think that you look at them and you think that, though, especially the way they can run the ball, I think that definitely that you got to put some respect on that.
They have some really good, talented players.
Yep.
The number I'm blanking on number 6, but then they also had a DeBoer on defense. He did have a couple penalties. He cleans that up a little bit. I mean, he's going to be an athlete. He is an athlete. So, They haven't put it all together yet. T hasn't. I think T could be a lot better than they are, but they're still meshing, and you can kind of see that. And I think you're seeing that with the Spartans as well.
Yep.
They don't really have an identity.
Well, and I think players like Brenner Conrad had a pretty good game too. So like, there was a lot of taking away from that game that you're just like, okay. I think that overall, I mean, the Spartans, they had a chance to win it they had a chance to tie it at the end, and it just didn't exactly go to plan. But I will say that also, I think you had touched on that the rule in South Dakota high school football is that when it comes to spiking the football out of the shotgun, you can do that.
Yes, the rule reads, they changed it last year, and I'm going to read you the rule.
And while he's doing that, we will also, like we said, we will preview the Rapid City Central versus the Spartans this Friday night. There are 3, count them, uno, dos, tres, Hall of Fame, Spearfish Hall of Fame inductees. We've got the article out on odrixsports.com.
So the NFHS had changed the rule last year, and you are able to you're able to do it as long as it goes directly. So there's basically 3 parameters that you can do it. A quarterback can legally spike the ball from shotgun formation to stop the clock. This rule change, effective in the 2023 season by NFHS, brought the high school rule in line with college and professional football. The spike must be done in a single continuous motion immediately after receiving the snap to be considered an incomplete pass, which can stop the clock. Also, the clock has to be running. So if they would have stopped the clock, called a timeout, and then did it, then it would have been an illegal forward pass as well. They just basically wanted to take the high school association just basically wanted to be at the same level of everything else. So they changed that rule a couple years ago. So people that asked after the game what was going on, basically what had happened was it's week 1 for everybody, and that includes everybody.
Yep.
So good call by Coach Teason. That's where they're comfortable is out of the shotgun. It's perfectly legal to snap the ball and throw it down to the ground. You don't win Coach of the Year by not knowing this stuff. So hats off to Coach, but unfortunately, not everybody knew that rule. So Spearfish ended up getting a 10-yard penalty and a loss of down, and I think they ended up 3 yards short after the Thomas Hughes scramble on 4th down. So unfortunate for Spearfish on that, but I do want to point out to any Spearfish fans that was a good call by Coach Teason. Get them in where they're comfortable, get the clock stopped, and go on to the next play. Unfortunately, not everybody knew those rules. So, but yeah, it's week 1 for everybody. Without officials, they don't get to play. We don't get to watch. So I'm not going to sit here and bash officials at all.
No, you got to play better than the ref. Yep. That's just what it is.
And,
so
just to go back to the T game, Cade Vavrishka played very, very well.
He did.
Really kind of came out of his shell, showed how explosive he can be as an offensive weapon. Also played well on the defense, and picked up scoop and score mixed fumble and first score for the Spearfish Spartans this year. I think Brock Lewis. Hats off to Brock Lewis, man. He's an absolute dog on defense, and he really stepped in where you could tell when he was off the field and when he was on the field. I think Brock Lewis is one of those kids that you just never take off the defensive side of the ball because that's when the explosive plays happened. But you heard his name a lot. You watched him. So when you guys are out there this week, watch for number 32. He was an absolute monster on defense. So
yes. And then
sorry, one more thing. One more guy.
Okay.
I want to Thomas Hughes. Good job, man. Like, that's a tough situation to step into, and you stepped into it, and you've been doing it your whole career. I mean, you're able to play whatever position you're kind of thrown at, and hats off to you too. So.
Absolutely. So real quick preview: Rapid City Central versus Spearfish. So this will be a fun one. We'll have on the live stream. We'll be sure to have an interview with Coach Teason and just kind of cover, the preview and make sure that we get everything taken care of there. So overall, we'll come out with the preview with Coach Teason here. But I mean, just looking at this optically, I think that this was a game last year that was already a dogfight, and now you've got the fact that Central clearly got better. taking down Roosevelt in week 1. I think that this is going to be a game where, again, and Teason touched on this too last week, where it was the team that makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win this game. That's what it comes down to. So you do those 3 things. You have less turnovers in your opponent. You're able to tackle your opponent and have less missed tackles and also have big plays. I think that's what it comes down to. It seems pretty simple, but I think that we're going to have to really see where this offense is, especially with now Thomas Hughes looks like he's going to be at least the starter moving forward for now. And I think that, I would like to see more from the Spearfish run game too.
Spearfish definitely has to get the run game established for Thomas Hughes to be successful in the passing game. That starts with running back by committee. It's tough to replace Hunter Walters, and you're never going to. But you got to do your best, and you got to establish the run. They didn't really establish any kind of run in T, and you got to run more north than south. Everybody's trying to get to the sideline. It's great to get that edge, but I think you got to make that first initial 2 to 3 yards and then work to the edge instead of trying to work to the edge right away. There's a lot of athletic kids, and you're not going to beat them to the edge. They have the angle. They have you well scouted. Like it's one of those things where take your 2 or 3 yards, and then if you do get tackled forward, so then you get your 4, and 4 yards a game, 4 yards a play wins games.
Yep.
So I think that's one thing that Spearfish absolutely has to do is establish that run, because that's what bailed them out last year with Rapid City. I mean, Hunter Walters and Aiden Wilson just kind of took that game over. So I think that, and then that'll open up the passing game. But they're going to have you well scouted. They're going to have a good defense, and this is one of the games I think Rapid City circles and really kind of gets ready for. It's fun for both teams, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't throw a safety over Cade too, because Cade showed that he can play offense. Like he's one of the big weapons for Spearfish. So
Absolutely.
I see a lot of Cade getting double teamed and kind of trying to take that away. That was one thing Rapid City did good last year, was take away the best player, at least for, until like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And then Hunter kind of took over.
Yes, he did. But overall, that is our preview and our recap for week 1 and our preview for week 2 for the Spartans against the Rapid City Central Cobblers. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys leave something in the comment section down below, whether it's an improvement or just your general thoughts on the game. And
I want to do one more thing. I hope Jax gets healthy.
Yes, prayers for
got
them.
hit pretty hard right on the shoulder. Hopefully, we don't know. We haven't talked to him, so hopefully his season's not over. But get healthy, Jack. It was fun to watch you out there. So
absolutely. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us for Odrix Sports, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
This production is brought to you by our sponsors: Legacy Custom Homes and Design, Black Mountain Painting, Spearfish Building Supply, Woods Heating and Cooling, Pioneer Properties, One Way Service Pros, The Bashful Bison, American Family Insurance Mariah Duvall Agency, Queen City Door, Signature Auto of the Black Hills, the Golf Club at Devil's Tower, the Clubhouse of Spearfish, Good Earth Natural Foods, McDonald's and Spearfish, I Love Spearfish, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, MJ Plumbing, and Northern Hills Golf Car.